Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin and today we are doing our October reading wrap up. I read 11 books this month. We have 6 here, 5 from Kindle. Let's get to it. For my October TBR, I read all but 2. I'm gonna go 2.5 because I started Not Quite Dead Yet in October, but I have not finished it yet, so it'll be a November read. But I'm gonna give it half a point because I started it. So we're gonna give credit where credit's due. So overall, pretty good month. I'm really gonna try to complete my TBR this month, but that's gonna be another video. I'm separating the 2 videos now. So you'll have to wait to see what my TBR is. But yeah, pretty successful TBR completion in my opinion because I tend to not finish them. So not reading 2, I'm proud of that. We're gonna try better this month. Anyways, let's get to the wrap up. First up, A Court of Silver Flames. We finished ACOTAR in the very beginning of this month. I did start this in September, but finished it in October. So it's an October read. That's what we do around here. I'm guessing that's what everybody else does. I gave this 5 stars. Nesta, my girl. I am one with Nesta. She is me. I relate to her a lot and it was just nice to read about. And her healing journey. Oh, I can't say that word for some reason. Healing journey. Her healing journey was just written beautifully and it was just so important and I think very much needed within this series. And I'm very glad that we got this. And Cassian, my man, I loved him. I wish we would have gotten more about him, but I don't want to take away any of Nesta's healing journey that we saw. And it's already a big book the way it is. So I'm hoping the next book is Nesta and Cassian. I don't know what we know about it, other than it's book 6. 5 if you count Frost and Starlight as half. But I'm really excited to see where these 2 head officially as like mates. I'm hoping we can see some part of their mate celebration that they talked about. I don't know, but I'm excited to see where these 2 go. Great start to the month with the 5 stars. Next up, we have Bride and Mate. So we're obviously going to start with Bride because it's the first book. I rated this a 4.5. I love these 2 characters. Misery and Love. Hi, Parker. Please hold. He's gonna... Oh, he's not gonna make noise. Parker recently got a haircut. He's bald. And he today has been scratching in blankets on my bed just trying to get comfy because he's cold. Anyways, back to Bride. Misery and Low. I loved their character development. I loved the plot and the story development. These 2 overall were just really great. I really enjoyed this. Misery's dry humor, right up my alley. I love dry humor and dark humor. So this was just like the perfect mix for me. Also, I wish this was a little bit longer. And Low, what a man you are. Love you. 4.5 stars. And then we have Mate. I rated this 4.5 stars as well. My jaw was on the floor during certain scenes. I believe it's chapter 34, like around there. My jaw was on the floor. Like, Allie. Serena is my girl. She went through so much. And I just love Serena. She's a top female main character for me, I think. Also, I love the purple cover. But yeah, Serena went through so much, and I'm so glad she got her own book. So we could see that in the development. Spoiler alert of her being half human, half werewolf. And then the whole mate thing, obviously, which I said before, like chapter 34, that was crazy. Jaw on the floor. I don't know how I feel about Cohen, which is why this isn't rated higher. I wasn't his biggest fan in the beginning. Like, I don't know. But he grew on me slowly as time went, and I loved him by the end. But overall, super fun read. I really enjoyed this. Allie, I need you to write more paranormal. We're just gonna ignore Parker. Allie, I need you to write more paranormal romances. Thank you. The next book I read was part of the Game Changer series. It is book 4? 5. I skipped 4. We're gonna be so for real. Book 5 of the Game Changer series, which is Role Model. I'm really glad I enjoyed this one because Tough Guy, I'm still pissed off about that book. And I didn't even read the one after that. I don't remember what it's called. I was told I could skip it, so I could. And I honestly couldn't tell a difference when I read Role Model, which I gave 4 stars. Such a cute book. I loved the growth and the progression between these two throughout the story. It just felt really natural, and that's honestly all I could ask for. But no epilogue is a crime. Where was my epilogue? But I did have fun. Really did enjoy this book. I liked both characters a lot. Troy and Harris Taylor. Ugh. Just felt so natural and so right. And I love that. And then to finish off the series, I read The Long Game, the second book to Heated Rivalry. If you guys haven't read this, what are you waiting for? Also, it is November, so happy Heated Rivalry TV adoption month. I'm so excited. Connor and Hudson are like the perfect casting for Shane and Ilya. If you haven't seen the trailer, go watch it. I'm so excited. I need it internationally streamed, because otherwise I gotta find a way to watch Crave Canada. Anyways, on to The Long Game. 5 stars. I loved this book. 6 stars if I could. So not 5 stars, 6 stars if I could. I think I liked it better than Heated Rivalry. I think I might reread Heated Rivalry sometime this month. We'll see if I have time, because I have a whole list of books I want to get to and I need to pick from my TBR jar. But the range of emotions I had throughout The Long Game. Laughed, cried. I'm sure there was anger in there. I just had all the emotions. Those are the only 3 emotions I can think of. These two are so beautiful. I love their story and how it progresses. And it just makes me speechless. This is my issue with 6-star reads. I love them so much that I can't describe it. And I love that we got the sweet domestic moments, but we also got the nitty-gritty harder moments between the two and really got to see them work together and figure out the issues that they had around them. Both of their experiences were just super important mental health wise, and I love that we got to see a lot of Ilya's. I wish we would have gotten a little bit more Shane's. His kind of went under the radar compared to Ilya's. It was really nice to see Ilya's. It was just heartbreakingly beautiful. That's the best I can describe it. Heartbreakingly beautiful. And the plane scene, I was crying. I need so much more from these two. I will take anything. Honestly, they could have a 3rd book. I need a 3rd book of them on the same team. Rachel, please. I'm so excited for the TV show. I'll put the link to the trailer for the adaptation in down below. So watch that if you haven't, because it looks so good. I'm so excited for it. But yes, Long Game, 6 stars. The next book I also don't have because I haven't ordered it physically yet, but I read on Kindle, was In the Dark by Chelsea Curto, one of my favorite authors. This was her first ever dark romance book. I rated it 3.5. Wasn't my favorite book of hers, but I did enjoy it. I flew through the book. I think I started and finished it the same day. I read it in less than 1 day. Because I flew through it. It was really easy to read. And it was such a fun Halloween vibes because it takes place around Halloween in a haunted house. So I highly recommend for Halloween if you haven't read it. Well, it's past Halloween, so next year. You can read it whenever, but it was great to read during Halloween, the Halloween season. It was very insta-lust, which Chelsea did warn throughout promo before the book came out, so I was aware it was coming. Even though it was insta-lust, I still felt like I could still feel their connection very early on, which I liked, which always makes me nervous with insta-lust, is that you won't feel the like emotional connection with them, and I did feel that, so I really did like that. I wish we would have gotten more moments post Connor deal, because I feel like it just kind of like cut off at the end, and I was like, well, how do they work through that afterwards? You like see like a few months later, like, oh, we worked through this, and I'm like, I want to see them work through it together. I just love seeing like the small moments between the big moments as well, if you haven't noticed by now. So I'll take any, which is why I loved Long Game so much. There were just so many sweet little moments, and I just love. The sharing scene. Let's discuss. I don't know how I feel about it. At the time I was reading, I was like, why not? I mean, if you're gonna do a dark romance, just go all in. Chelsea did. But I don't know how I felt about it. Like afterwards, because I don't know. But I still had so much fun with this, and the little DC Star shout out. My boys are always there. Always there in some capacity, and I love it. And Sinbin comes out this. Nope. Sinbin got moved in December. We'll be back to them super soon, December. But yes, In the Dark, 3.5. Fun read. Okay guys, this next read, I highly, highly, highly recommend listening to the audio of it. I'm very picky on my audiobooks. Like if somebody's voice is just a little off to me, and it has to be duet. However, this wasn't duet, and I still really enjoyed it. Listen for the Lies, Amy Tantera. I rated this 5 stars. This was a very good book. If you haven't read or listened to it, I really highly, highly suggest you do. Listen to it. If you want to follow along, I also agree with that. So this is about 2 girls, Lucy and Savvy. Savvy is murdered, and everybody thinks Lucy did it because she was there that night and she had blood on her hands, and Savvy's blood, you know. But they didn't have enough proof, so they couldn't charge Lucy. 5 years later, a guy named Ben has a podcast called Listen for the Lie, where he does cold cases, tries to solve them. So he tries to solve Savvy's murder. So it brings up Lucy's past again, and now it goes like, now it's like exposed to the nation, because it used to just be pretty much a small town that knew about it. But now the whole nation like wants to know what happened. Yeah, it's very good. So during the podcast parts on the audiobook, it like actually is like a podcast, which I think is so cool. I'm really glad they did it that way. That's why I highly recommend you listen to it, because it's so much more immersive listening to it. Also, I loved Lucy's grandma. That's how I'll leave this. I love her grandma. And unfortunately, we have a very disappointing book in here, which I'm so sad about. I did not really enjoy this. I was so excited for this book. I ended up giving it 2.5, which tends to be the lowest I rank because I always feel bad ranking it lower than that. But this was a 2.5. I was really excited because she's a cowgirl, bull rider, and he's an NHL player. Like 2 of my favorite subgenre tropes in romance. It just didn't hit. We primarily focus on her, which I love. I love women. But like, why talk so much about him being an NHL player and then not include any of that? Like, it was highly advertised about that. But he's a single dad, which I love that we got to see that. And his little daughter, Vienna. That's what it is. Vienna was adorable. Loved Vienna. It felt so flat to me. Like, it just didn't really, like, it just fell flat for me. I don't know how else to describe it. And the thing about the careers is that careers were very important to both of them, but we barely got to see his career as an NHL player, which I think that's why I was annoyed most about that aspect of it. As I was saying, it just kind of felt flat. The first half, like, kind of dragged on a little bit, and then it just kind of picked up the rest of the way. And then the second half was just super, like, went by super fast, and it kind of just started getting repetitive. And I was kind of like, yeah, I know. And I just wasn't feeling their chemistry too much, unfortunately. I love the concept of this book so much, NHL player, bull rider, but I just didn't feel it, that it was executed the best that it could have. My most disappointing read of the month, Homebound, 2.5. The next book I read to try to redeem the single dad second chance romance, I guess, was Cowboy Casual by Holly Renee. What did I give this? I gave it 4 stars. I did really enjoy this one. I loved how things developed again between these two, because second chance. It was a bit slow, but it was so worth it. I think throughout the length of this book, there could have been less casual. I know the book's called Cowboy Casual, but I feel like they needed more of those conversations of what happened in the past in between, like, the casual and when they got back together, like, officially. I'm very handsy today. But yeah, I feel like less casual, like, we could have spent a little less time of them being casual, but I feel like they needed more of those important conversations of what happened in the past to be able to move on for their future. And I feel like we didn't get enough of those. There's maybe like 1 or 2 conversations. You know me, I'm all about the conversations and the communication. And there was just like it's just not enough for me personally. But Ruby, what a sweet little girl. I wish we would have gotten a little bit more of her. I honestly really enjoyed her as a character. And I loved her relationship with Blair. Loved it. But yeah, I didn't really explain it before. It's a second chance romance, single dad. She moves back to town and she doesn't know he has a kid. She comes back to town after breaking off her engagement. Finds out he has a kid. Kind of crazy. I teared up during that part, honestly, when she found out he had a kid. But yeah, it's all done super well. I did really enjoy this one. 4 stars. And then we have my most unexpected, surprising read this month, Fighting Spirit by Anna Harrison. This one was chosen by Maddie. This was not a part of my TBR or anything, but I visited my friend Maddie for a week and we did a challenge where she picked a book for me to read from her shelf, she picked a book for me to read off of my shelf, and then I picked a book from her shelf. So the book she picked off of her shelf for me to read was Fighting Spirit. And I rated this 5 stars. I loved this one. It was very unexpected. I wasn't sure how I was going to rate this. I know she loved this book. I believe she also rated it 5 stars. It was really fun and really easy to read, and it's what I needed at the time. And I related so much to Ruth. There's ADHD representation within the female main character, which I love. And I felt a little too close, like a little bit too connected to Ruth. Sometimes I had to like step back and be like, holy shit. Because, you know, when like you see something and it's kind of like you relate to it so much and it kind of like takes you back. Yeah, that's what happened with me with Ruth, but I really, really loved it. And then don't even get me started on Rowan. Don't even get me started on Rowan. What a sweet guy. And the demisexual representation with him, that was done so well. This book overall was just done very, very well. I never heard of this book until Maddie read it. So, and I don't think there's too many reviews on Goodreads about it. There's 1,396 ratings on Goodreads for this book. So it's not well known at all. But I really enjoyed this. So I highly suggest this if you've never read it. He's a football player for their college. She is the there's 2 colleges. He goes to one college. He's the star football player. She goes to their rival college and she's their mascot. And she gets kidnapped by his team. He wasn't involved in it, but he ends up having to watch her after the whole kidnapping. It's a whole thing. But she gets kidnapped by them. But it's really fun, really easy to read. I highly suggest this one. Most surprising one. Really enjoyed it. And then the last book I read this month, 7 Year Slip. This was the book Maddie chose for me to read from my shelf. And I really enjoyed this one. I was always nervous about this one for some reason. I don't know if it's just like the 7-year difference that made me just, I don't know. I was just kind of intimidated by this book, but I really did enjoy this. I gave it 4.5 stars. It is about Clementine West. Her aunt dies, leaves her magical apartment. Her aunt always said that it was magical. Clementine always never really believed her. But her aunt passes away, leaves the apartment to her. She moves in. And then one day, she gets to her apartment. There's a man there. And she's like, realizes he's from 7 years in the past. It's kind of crazy, but I loved it. And there's like 2 rules her aunt always had for her at the apartment. Rule 1, take your shoes off once you get inside. Rule 2, never fall in love in this apartment. And you can guess what happens to rule number 2. Broken. This was a very beautiful story about love, grief, friendship, change was a very big theme of this, which I think is very important to read every once in a while. Because I know a lot of people hate change. I hate change. This was very important, and I think I read it right when I needed to. And also a beautiful story about the unknown, because we literally live in the unknown every day. The story really, really makes you think about your own life and where you want it to go, which, as I just said before, I think is something I really needed to read in this time of my life right now. And I really enjoyed it. I wish we could have gotten a few more scenes with, spoiler, with Clementine, with Rowan. Rowan? That's what I read beforehand. Goodness me, wrong main character. Ewan? I'm gonna say Ewan. In present day, like her 7 years, not the past 7 years. I wish we would have gotten a few more between them two before they got together in present day. Because it just kind of felt a little quick. Because in the past, she only sees him like 3-4 times in the 7-year slip. And then she sees him like maybe 4, maybe 5 times in the present before they like get together. So I wish we would have gotten a few more times of either them in the past or them in the present. But other than that, slow start, but then when it picked up, it hit me hard. I really enjoyed this book. 4.5 stars. Highly recommend this one, as everybody else does. That is all for my October reading wrap up. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope I could make it pretty quick with expressing my love for these books. I feel I struggle with saying how I feel. So trying to describe books is just another struggle of mine. So I'm hoping I did okay. It's a work in progress for me. If you thought I did alright, like and subscribe. I'll be back again either this week or the beginning of next week for my November TBR, which I'm so excited to make. There's so many books that I want to read in November, so I'm hoping. Like, I literally have a list of books I want to read this month, so I'm hoping I can just get those onto my TBR. If you want to find out, subscribe to see when that video drops. Alrighty, I love you guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you all have a great rest of your day. Bye.